Patreon. Okay, YouTube is in as well. Okay, cool. I'm just going to say hi to everybody before we get started here. And then we will. Oh, heck. We're going to start here in just a minute. With that, it's almost straight up. And so, yeah, let's just go with that. All right. So, greetings once again. Oh, yeah, there's that stupid thing popping up on my screen. Okay, good. All right, we are here. Noon straight up, real talk with Keith Motherfucking Walker. What's up? All right, good to see y'all. All right, and bouncing around. Okay, we'll see who strolls in here at some point. So, today's episode is interesting. I'm going to go ahead and utilize you guys, excuse me, as my free therapist for the day, and do a little disclosure slash head scratching slash shoulder shrugging. I don't know, whatever the fuck I got going on. All right, cool. Got a couple people on the Facebook, so welcome in. Good to see ya. And again, what's happening in the other boxes? I got nothing, so I just hang out with the Facebook people. See who's here. Ah, hey, baby. Hope Oregon is treating you well. It's hot down here. Hot. Durr. Yeah, it's Vegas. It's summer. All right. So, anyway, where do I start today? Well, let's go with the topic, if you see it, is humility. And my lead in on that is everything is a double-edged sword. And what I mean by that, well, it kind of tracks off from yesterday when we were talking about addiction and human condition and, you know, things out of moderation. And I think that's a lot of just everything. You know, whether whatever aspects of your psyche are assets or liabilities, defects, or, you know, however we want to box that. And so as I beat around the bush, like we look at, so what's the well, let's go with this. Let's start with the definition. What is humility? And so I looked it up a little while ago. I got to look it up again because now I'm doing other shit. Humility meaning. Okay. So the quality of having a modest view of one's importance. Oops. All right. I'm already fucked. Okay, good. Focusing less on the ego and caring for others. It is the opposite of pride, arrogance, and entitlement. Okay. That's pretty simple. I think we all understand what that is. And obviously, humble is the attribute. Hi, Sonia. On the road again. And yeah, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, what am I going to say about humility, Sonia? Anyway, so where was I at? Yeah, so humility again, the state of being humble. What really is that? So it was kind of explained to me, you know, truly how you get to that point is true humility is just being okay with yourself, being okay in your own skin. And it's not too much and it's not too little. It's just a recognition of who and what you are and being okay with that. And so that is at the time and even beyond, like that was everything to me because I grew up like part of my dysfunction or whatever was just never being comfortable in my own skin, right? Class clown, fucking, I bouncing around. It just never really feeling like you fit in, all that kind of shit. And I don't know how much of that is addictive and how much of that is just simply human condition and just, um, you know, self esteem lack. Wasn't I loved enough as a child? Like, fuck, I don't know. I think I was, so I don't even know that I have any excuses with any of that kind of shit. It just was. So as I got into recovery and then again stayed in recovery, um, this process, as I got better, as I learned more, my behaviors were better, there's a psychic change. I connect with the universe better. I get comfortable with my place in the universe, et cetera, et cetera. Over time, um, I gratefully, I mean, again, it's not because I'm special, it's just a byproduct of going through this process of recovery in a lot of different ways. Um, the mirror became more of a friend than an enemy, for lack of a better way to put it. Like I could look there and I didn't hate what I saw. And that was fucking everything. Um, and again, it's that, and that really hasn't waned. I mean, part of humility is understanding that we are less than perfect. Sorry. Um, Nor will we ever achieve that state. So there's always defects going on, but it's okay. Like that was okay. And the process of being okay with that is pretty simply, um, oh boy. Okay. Oh, really, Pam? Okay, I can do that. Pam says read the definition two more times out loud before I'm done. Okay, I can do. Thanks, Coach. Um, where was I at? Um, Something to the effect of like knowing that there are short. Yeah, it's kind of in the middle of like the steps of the 12-step program. If you pay any attention to that, great toolbox to have. But um, being aware that we have these shortcomings and these less than perfections, and just a willingness to let go of that shit or be better in the process of what that is. So, and that was enough. And it is enough still, because again, we're never going to be perfect, except perfect in our imperfection. However you perceive that in your spiritual journeys. But yeah, so that is Maiden. What's up, dog? Hi, Chris. Um, yeah, anyway, so being okay with that. So where am I beating around the bush to? Well, before I sidetrack again, let's see. Do I still have it up here? Oh, yeah. Here, I'll read it one more time. Yeah, you got issues, Chris. Nah, I love you too, bro. Appreciate you. Humility is the quality of having a modest view of one's importance, focusing less on the ego and caring for others. It is the opposite of pride, arrogance, and entitlement. So, again, there's, wow, you can get lost in words and definition and all that kind of stuff. We can rationalize and justify where we're at with all that kind of stuff. It really doesn't matter when it comes down to the end of the day. It's, we know whether we are in that state of humility or not. And I think, I mean, I'm grateful. Again, I think, not tooting a horn, but I think most of the time I I certainly try to live there because I know the consequences of not. And so, I mean, when I first read it, and I think that's why I laughed, and Pam would know this as well, is just, when the first, because it sounds different the second time. It'd be interesting how I feel about it when I read it again. Um, but again, the quality of having a modest view of one's importance. And so, of course, because I'm so fucking self absorbed and not humble, like I just said, a modest view of oneself, which I don't. I'm the shit. And I know it. Right? I mean, that was the first thing that clicked in my brain when I saw that. And that's not what the definition is talking about. It's talking about something that I very, 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 and it's probably my saving grace, um, believe to my bones and my soul is having a modest view of one's importance. I know where I fit in the universe as much as I can tell. And when we talk about humility and one's importance, I am both. And I've shared this with you guys before. And it's an interesting perspective, and we go back and forth. Um, and I'm going to paint you two pictures and see where the challenge is. When when I look at my importance in the universe, let's go look at a beach, and one of those grains of sand out on this entirety of the beach is me. How important is that? Right? And so, but you can't stop there because this is a good place to like hate everything about life, right? I'm so insignificant and I'm so this and that. And it's just like, that's a part of the picture. The other part of the picture is the importance of, and so let's say, for instance, the universe is this body. I'll just leave it at that today. We can talk about what the body looks like some other time and what that means. But the body, and I am one atom in this fingernail right here. And you'd go, once again, right? And I go, wait a minute. But if you take me out of there, poof, because I'm not important, what happens? Well, there's a hole, and everything in here bleeds out of that. So I'm pretty fucking important. Like that one atom matters. Like that one grain of sand matters. Because if it's not there, it changes the entire topography of that beach. What, albeit that much, but instead of waves washing up and just free flowing and doing that over a period of time without that grain of sand to like block that one little drop of water that starts a channel and this and that, then all of a sudden we have like a beach with like lots of undertow and nobody can swim there anymore. Does that make sense? So we are all that and not. So that's where the humility, or true humility, um, it plays a part in how I perceive everything. I am insignificant yet all important, and everything in between. Now, what the fuck, right? And so I don't get. I mean, I do, and it's a problem whenever it happens. But so I try not to get hung up in any of that shit. I just, again, I just stay grateful that I'm on the beach. Beach is cool, right? And regardless of my place on it or importance or any of that, I don't give a shit. I'm just glad to be there. And such is life. Like there's, oh yeah, I'd rather be here. I'd rather be doing that. I'd rather this situation, that. It doesn't matter. Every day I wake up and I'm just fucking grateful I get to play again. And that's humility to me. And this is how I make it through my bad behaviors at times, and my failings, or my struggles with staying spiritually fit, behavior wise, etc., all that kind of stuff, is the fact that, I always go back to that default. I love the universe loves me, and we're all hanging out here together. And things that happen for a reason. Some are good, some are bad. That's all a perception as well, but they all continue to move and flow and all that good shit. And so we're just players in that game. So, um, yeah, so I stay grateful for that perspective. And, because it saves my life, it saves my sanity, much of the time when it comes to that. So, where are we at in the moment? Well, right now I'm scratching my head, and this topic comes up. And again, for self disclosure, lack of way to put it, I mean, why did it bring us up to this topic? Well, in short, if some of you guys, I mean, if you've been following at all, I throw it in my gratitude list, or it brings it up, or all that kind of shit. Short story, I was looking at this job. It looked really good. Everything was moving along. And then all of a sudden, I get the fucking memo yesterday, and it's shit cans. And they're moving in another direction. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that about? Um, Again, kicked in the proverbial groin of expectation as well. And I even at this point, I feel like I had a good reason for expectation. Things were said, there were impressions, etc., understandings. And so be it. At the end of the day, fuck it, I don't care. um but in the moment, before I get to the end of the day, I kind of do care. Like, I don't like rejection. I don't like failure. I don't, and I'm like, who the fuck do these people think they're doing? Not fucking giving me what I want. What the hell? Do they not know who I am yet? Maybe they do. And so, I am just like anything, and we do this stuff, and I'm just bored because Pam's out of town. I got time on my hands. So just gonna beat myself up for a minute, just for something to do, because I don't do it very often. And but I'm kind of going back through and figuring out what the fuck happened. Like, what's my part? Pam, my devil's advocate, obviously, she brought it up, and she's just like, yeah, whatever. But what's your part, or do you have a part? And I mean, frankly, I don't know that I'll ever know. um, because I reached back out to them, and I'm like, can I get some more detail on that? Like, what the fuck happened or any of that? And it's cricket. So I don't expect I'm ever going to hear from them again. They're just, nope. And, and she knows how I am. I'm a salesman, and frankly, I'm kind of hung up on myself sometimes. And I will, as I look back on it, I'm like, okay, well, yes, and I could very well have been less than humble through the process, which is kind of tough, as I look back on that again. Like, Dad always told me, when you're applying for somewhere, like, you got to sell yourself. Like, why do these fuckers want to give you money? And so you've got to make a presentation, and you have to be better than what the fucking resume says, etc., all that kind of stuff. And so there's that piece. I think, and again, I think I may have been more over the top than I needed to be. And some of this is like a knee jerk reaction. I even look at that and go, well, that's potentially true, but why was that? And it's like, well, it's the whole struggle of, since we moved down here, is I've been credentialed at a pretty high level in another state for a long fucking time. And then I came down to this state and they told me I could not practice in their state. Like I was not good enough to practice here. I needed some things and this and that. It's just like been this whole time. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, what do you mean I can't do anything? And there's hoops to jump through and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's been part of the problem is I came in with again, um, whatever self perception I have based on a lot of pretty good evidence. Again, I may be a little hung up on myself, but then again, like I got some good paper and I fucking earned some of that stuff. And it's not anything more than just like I did the work. Like I'm just a guy. I did the work and there's the fucking benefit. And it's not because, oh, I'm so great. And I might or I might not be, but these are the simple pieces. And anyway, so I think that's got me. And the fact that I just haven't had any luck figuring out where I'm going to work in this state, that's probably lurking in the back of my head as well as like, fuck, you got to nail this thing. Like, you got to any of that. So I don't know. I'm still processing and none of it fucking like, at least in this one particular case, none of it fucking matters. Like, this is already come and gone. And just like everything, like not everything has to matter or mean something, but we kind of have that. Again, that's a little bit of less than humble. Like it's all about me, like, like maybe they're the ones learning the lesson right now. And I was just a passerby. Like, I don't fucking know. Or it's my lesson or it's somebody else's or fuck, who knows? I don't know. But what I do know is it's left a bad taste in my mouth. And when I get uncomfortable like that, I grab the mirror and I'm like, okay, was it me? What did I do? And I know this to be true. And defect, asset, I don't know. Willing to change, not willing to change, who fucking knows? I say shit cleverly sometimes when it comes to this topic, and it's like I'm not conceited, I'm convinced. Haha. But I mean, it is like it's a jaded phrase, right? But then again, when I break it down, it's like it's not jaded at all. It's as humble as it gets. And many would disagree with me. It's just their perception of the words and the phrases. And all I mean by that is like, I'm not hung up on myself. I just bust my ass and the universe loves me and I'm okay with that. Like, and it happens every day. That's to convince. It's not a fucking pride badge. Oh, look at me or any of that. It's just, again, out of gratitude of being able to actually live in my skin. When I'm living in my skin, I'm pretty fucking happy about that. And I know I'm living in it. And I'm grateful for that. Like I said, and that's what I try to share when I'm sharing with other people about it. Again, this could be a very dicey conversation. People get uptight. I've certainly had this discussion with Pam 1,000 times in our relationship as it comes up, and it comes up regularly. And, sometimes I reel it in and sometimes I don't. But like the things I share with her is when I look at something like this, I have to make a decision and weigh it out. Am I willing to change it? Do I need to change it? Do I need to make adjustments? Or do I just simply keep what it is and deal with the results? And most of the time it's that, because I will be honest with you, because I've heard it before. And I don't judge people, but I inventory just like I inventory myself. and I watch their reactions. And what I can tell you is, I don't think I really changed much of anything as I went through this process. And I had, like, I would call it like 2.5 interviews and a couple other um, con- conversations throughout the whole process. And, it's when I look at what I can tell you is that my see again, I don't look at it. It's hard to tell. Confidence, arrogance, confidence. I know how it comes off sometimes to people who are not comfortable in their own skin. And I will leave it at that, where I'm just matter of factly expressing myself or any of that. And they struggle with that. It's off putting. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's threatening. It's whatever it is. Like, they're just not digging it. And I got to be honest with you. Like, I had some great conversations with some pretty solid people, and we were moving through the process, and I kind of got to the final Karen, right, the final boss. And um and she he them it well, I don't know, I said, but doesn't she did not appear, what's the word I'm looking for, like, I feel like I fucking steamrolled her, and which is unfortunate because she's of pretty high importance. And I'm thinking, if you can't deal with me, how do you even get to that spot? Like, who do you hire? Like, what? This is not an easy job that we're looking at. And it's life or death for a lot of people. So I would expect as well, like I said, the other people I talked to that were going to be working closer and all that kind of, like, they were fucking really looking forward to probably having me on their team. Like, they're like, here's a motherfucker who knows his shit and we can count on. And we need some of that. And, when I got to this last interview, it obviously didn't go over well when I presented as such. And again, anyway, that's enough of that nonsense. I'm speculating at that point. However, it's not my first rodeo when it comes to that. And so I know that. And again, in talking with Pam, she's like, was it you? Would you this or that? And I'm just like, am I willing to change that? And today I'm not. I mean, I'm still not. And, and the reason for that, again, is that again, you got to stay true to yourself, right? I am what I am. And again, I will remain self-confident in respect for what the universe has shared with me in getting okay in my own skin. I don't know. Does that make sense? Does that mean anything? Is it me just rambling? Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I'm doing a little self therapy at your punishment. Sorry about it. My hope is, just like anything, when I start blowing smoke anecdotally, is there something in here of value for somebody else? We all are going through this process at one level or another. So, and this is a huge one. Again, until we get okay in our own skin, we're not going to be hugely successful. We're certainly, if we can't have a relationship with ourselves, we're not going to do well with relationship with other people, right? I mean, and so a lot of us know this, and this has been our history. So again, um, I'm not, yeah, okay. Let's just in bringing closure to it, um, per se, is like, okay, well, I didn't get that job. You know what that means? Is thanks, fam. I yeah, it means I don't have to change the time of fucking real talk. Like I'm not at work at noon, so fuck it. I guess I get to keep rolling at noon. I don't have to change that. Um, and there's lots of other pieces to be grateful for. And again, it's part of another um, another of the lessons to have is just that again, shit happens in life, and then they say, well, no, it's a life happens, shit is made, and so all I can say is thank God and the universe or whatever is doing whatever. I mean, just gratefully, I did not get that job because that would have been bad. That's all I can guess, right? Because the universe loves me, so it didn't happen. And I just get to process that. And so it doesn't mean I never do anything or never try anything and I just blame the universe. It's, you go through the process and the open doors, and some of them lead to a result, and some of them lead to a lesson to be learned, and some of them just fucking meander around like fuck. I don't know. All I know is that um, I adulted well enough yesterday without a job that I still have electricity and internet, so I can do this under a roof and food in the fridge and blah blah blah. So, um, ah, okay, there's some gratitude. Um, Thanks, Pam. Yeah, so anyway, that's that. So, as advertised, I got to read it one more time, right? Definition of humility. Excuse me. Humility is the quality of having a modest view of one's importance, focusing less on the ego and caring for others. It is the opposite of pride, arrogance, and entitlement. And it goes on to other things: self forgetfulness, openness to learn, right? I mean, that's really humility. And I stay there as well. And I've had lots of conversations with that. I'm in school again, doing bonehead shit that I already know, like and trainings, etc. Like I've been doing it forever, this and that. But I always pay attention because even at this, in a matter of a few minutes, it feels different than it did the first time. You guys have done this before, right? You read a book and then you like read it again. I don't know, 5 months, 5 days, 5 years later, and it's just like, oh, I don't remember that part, or right. I mean, you pick something different up every time. So there's that. Focus on others. It is not self hatred, low self esteem, or putting yourself down. Okay, pay attention to that. Being humble is not being weak. Again, it's not a lack of confidence or people treat you poorly. Yeah, we're not doormats. It allows you to know your true strengths while remaining grounded. I mean, this is, again, what a brilliant place to be. And again, it's like I strive like every minute to be in that place. I'm going to throw one more quote out there real quick and then we'll wrap it up for today. Came out of Narcotics Anonymous basic text way back when. Always a fun one. If we are not humble, we will be humiliated. Right? You cannot save your ass and your face at the same time. Have we heard all those things? If you haven't, now you have. And that is, again, that's reality. And it's true, when I get too hung up on myself, I get kicked in the nuts. It's what the universe does in one way, shape, or form. And again, because I'm feeling that, um, why I am processing through this process. But at least again, I'm doing it with the understanding that this is how it was supposed to go down all the time. Because here we are, and so I'm not gonna lose anything by that. But again, it's just I'm just being um, mindful that there may be a lesson for me here. Or again, it's just a matter of, you know, it kept me occupied for a couple weeks, kept me on some string, so I wasn't going out making any other bad decisions. Fuck, I don't know. We'll find out. Like I said, I'm grateful that I have some resources and I'm not gonna starve this week. I mean, so there you go. And you know, what had been taking a break off of looking in that today has been, phone call or two, an email or two, an application or two. Like, okay, well, this thing's not happening, so I guess I'll get back into this mode. And I have. So be it. Nothing happening there, but I mean, it's motion. Always keep things motion and all that good shit. So thank you all for hanging out and showing up. We've got one more show to hit our 1 month anniversary tomorrow. We got things coming up, so I'll throw it in. Like I said, our buddy Sonia is coming down to visit and do things in Vegas. So she'll be down here and she's going to be on the show Saturday. So if all you've done is seen Sonia in the talk box, which she was in and out of on YouTube here, but they're on the road headed this way. Solid. She always comes and hangs out with the Recovery Unfiltered podcast that I do with the doc as well. So that should be very exciting. I am going to be reaching out again with some of you guys that have already jumped in on the show. Like there's a few of them that we want to do follow-ups with that have to do with the Taylor Foundation, the auction that went down last night, incarceration. James is chomping at the bit to get back in here, so I think I'll have him back in next week, and that'll be wonderful. I think that's an interesting connection. I'm looking forward to hanging out with James and maybe doing some shit with him because he's a fucking good human. Anyway, those are the things that are going on with that. What else can I say? I don't know. Got to throw my own shameless plug in. If you ain't got a copy of my book yet, I'm not sure why you hate yourself so much, but you should hit me up. Right? I got copies here. I autograph them. I send swag. I cut good deals. Anyway, tell a friend, share, comment, follow. You know the drill. Hit the arrows, all the buttons, all that kind of shit. Keep me occupied because I ain't got no fucking job. So, right? I had to do something to keep me insane. Anyway, love you guys. Appreciate it. Catch you next time. Later, Facebook. All right. And no animals were injured in this live stream.